This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
Hot down summer with the Meanie. What's up, man? It is fucking warm, but I'll take this over snow any day of the week. Yeah. Not too. Usually I have like a little diatribe to say, but when I first start the show, but yeah, man, it's fucking warm. But I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay, man. Hotter than the hinges of hell out here in lovely, scenic Downingtown, Pennsylvania. But it's, I'm good, man. It's been a good day. It's happy it's the weekend. And getting ready to get started here to enjoy myself with you today, sir. And also with the Pod Squad, who had a lot of fun with us just now in the pre-show, in the dressing room, which you can get right now if you sign up today at patreon.com/mindofthemeanie. Tiers starting at only $10. So it's a great way to join us and see our beautiful faces as we start the show every week. And you can see us live and ad-free as well here. But, Meanie, I want to talk at the top of the show today. One of your trainees, Damian Priest, won the Money in the Bank briefcase this past weekend over there in foggy London town. And I just want to get your thoughts about Mr. Priest's win and where you see it going from here.
I love Damian. He such a rock star. But, I was one of his coaches. I'll just say that. Like, I can't take full credit. But, very happy for him. I wish I could have watched it live. But, like, I was at the Icons Fest. I went to the Icons of Wrestling convention last weekend. Thank you for everybody who came over to say hello and, hung out. Saw a lot of great faces there. But, words start leaking because, inside baseball, they were live from London as opposed to like back in the day when SummerSlam, was like tape delay to the States. This is way before internet and all that stuff, They were actually, the pay-per-view started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the States, or at least on the East Coast. So, forgetting that, I'm looking at my phone and I'm starting to get spoilers, of course, but I couldn't have been more happy to have been spoiled to learn that Damian had, won the Money in the Bank, which is a signature event, in my opinion, there's, as far as WWE events, there's the original four, of course, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble. Money in the Bank should be like number 5, actually, you could probably swap out Survivor Series for Money in the Bank, just as far as, Survivor Series really isn't like what it was, it's just Survivor Series in name. There's really no series. They've tried to do it, but it's kind of lost its luster. Money in the Bank, on the other hand, is like no pun intended, a premium event.
Right.
And the fact that, I was surprised it was the opening match too, but
yeah, I was a little surprised by the way they set the card, but I felt like the match set the tone for the rest of the night because overall I felt like it was a really great show, another great one. Like they've really been, I feel like WWE's really been firing on all cylinders recently, and I thought, I will admit, I was a little disappointed that Los Angeles Night didn't capture the briefcase because I thought that's where they were going to go. But again, as the Cody Rhodes thing happened, I'm willing to let the story progress and see. But Damian Priest, at least like kind of looking at it in hindsight, feels like the right move.
Yeah, and I it seems like the company's high on Damian, and LA Knight is fantastic too. I see a little bit, like Kevin Nash was kind of I don't want to say ranting, but saying that he was, ripping off The Rock. And I don't see The Rock, when it comes to LA Knight. I see more of a Stone Cold because when his music hits, he comes out, he's kind of got that bad motherfucker walk that Austin had. And he's always been a great talent. I loved him. I know he's been around for a bit, but I first started getting familiar with LA Knight in the NWA when it was Eli Drake. And back then when he was talking, I was like, man, this guy's got something. There's no denying. He's got something to him. And it just took to come to WWE to accentuate it, even, and he's got the charisma. He's got the little phrases, like, yeah, all the yeah stuff. But he's got the bad motherfucker look. He's got good looks. He's got the build. And just the way the fucking crowd came up, you could tell he might not have won Money in the Bank, but that doesn't mean he can't still, ascend to higher things.
Yeah, and I think what it looks like they're, at least from some of the house show footage, it looks like they have him with Austin Theory. Something like that's going to start coming up pretty soon, which, I mean, I could see that, listen, I want to be clear about this and kind of diplomatic, right? For me, I feel like Austin Theory's time with that U.S. title is kind of like run its course. I think it's time to maybe shift and refocus on something else. But I'm not sure who could be the one to take that title away from him. And I feel like where they're starting to maybe move towards like Roman and Jay for SummerSlam. And now it feels like they're going to probably run back Finn and Seth at SummerSlam for the new big gold belt. Somehow Damian will be involved in that. For me and my money, and I'll get your opinion on it too, it feels like they're going to start, it feels like the right move would be moving LA Knight towards that U.S. title and allowing him to kind of run with that. Because I feel like eventually, like everybody, the other thing is always like, oh, he's 40, he's this, that, and the other. Yeah, well, like AJ Styles is in his 40s as well. Who gives a shit? Like a lot of these guys, a lot of our favorite talent right now are in their late 30s, early 40s. Like Kenny Omega's, I think, at my age, 37, 38, right? They're all still performing at an elite level. So I think LA Knight's time is going to eventually come. I think it's just a matter of those building blocks. What's your thoughts?
I don't give a fuck how old he is. He can still go. He's got a look. And, 40 is not old.
No.
Trust me, when you get to 50, tell me how old 40 is. And it's all these people who, it's always the people who fucking haven't gone through shit that fucking will say something, but then once they get to that point in their life, they're like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, yeah, shut up. But yeah, like, back in the day, build somebody up, whether it was in NWA or WWE, somebody either became the U.S. champion in NWA or the Intercontinental champion in WWE. That was always like the, if you won the United States belt in NWA or Intercontinental belt in WWE, you were the number one contender for those world belts in those respective promotions. And that would be the right thing to do. Because, Damian's already held the U.S. title, I believe. So yes. The next thing would be for him to do Money in the Bank. So the next logical thing for me for LA Knight would either make a run for the U.S. title. I forget which show the U.S. I don't follow this fucking brand split at all.
Oh, it's very difficult. You're not the only one. Yeah.
Is the U.S. title Raw or SmackDown?
So the U.S. Where is it at? So they just flip-flopped them. So the U.S. title is now on Monday Night Raw, and then SmackDown has the Intercontinental title.
So if he's on Raw, then it would make sense for him to make a run at the U.S. belt. Just to that next level him up a little bit by letting him win that belt. And which would make sense.
I agree. I think that's the logical track for me. And then Lucha in the Pod Squad here said that Damian Priest is 2 months older than LA Knight. So like realistically, like there's this very archaic view of age, I think, that a lot of people have. I mean, I'll be 38 next month, and I don't feel any older than I did when I was 24, right? Physically, I don't have, knock on wood, I don't have any aches, I don't have any pains, and I definitely don't perform in a ring as a professional wrestler, for an extended period of time. So I can't imagine, like, being at what feels like the peak of my physical body, and then someone telling me, "Oh, you're too old for this belt. You're not going to be able to carry it." Well, look at the fucking size of these guys. Like, that's ridiculous. It's archaic and stupid, and I think we need to, and especially too with not just men, but also the women's roster as well. Like, we're holding on to these ideas, and it doesn't matter, right? But
yeah, you're learning. I mean, you go up to the WWE system and you start learning, and you don't start to fucking get that seasoning, until a little. You have to be in that system to get that seasoning to, be able to handle, the WWE way and how they do things. Because once you go to WWE, they don't care what you've done elsewhere. You kind of have to restart in their system and learn the WWE way. Back in the day, Jericho, they paired him up with X-Pac just to have X-Pac teach Jericho, how they do things in WWE and stuff like that. So,
right.
But I know we're talking about age, and it shouldn't matter as long as somebody can fucking work and go,
Yeah.
I mean, Flair was in his 40s,
Yeah.
Terry Funk was, in his 40s,
Yeah, like it really doesn't matter. It's so stupid.
Does not matter. Is Ray in his 40s and he still can go?
I think he's not even like past 45 yet, to be honest with you. Well, Ray started wrestling when he was 14 or 15 years old. Ray Mysterio. I mean, it's,
oh yeah.
Like it just, again, it makes me so angry and amongst so many things in the professional wrestling discourse, that age becomes this thing, and it's both companies. Like, it's ridiculous. If people can still perform physically and they can still do these things, who gives a shit? And they're getting over too. Like, it's just dumb. But I do want to double back to Mr. Priest.
Sure.
I know that we talked about him potentially cashing in with Seth Rollins, but as far as in the storyline, do you think it makes more sense for him to challenge Roman, or do you think they're going to move forward with the Judgment Day kind of split where he gets involved in the Seth Rollins promo?
I don't know what's going on between him and Finn right now. I hope they don't bust up the Judgment Day too soon, because I hate when they start something and something becomes good and then they just bust it up. It looks like they're having a slight infighting right there, which I get. Hopefully that's just a ruse to make Seth think there's problems. Where they could do this thing where it looks like there's problems within the Judgment Day.
Right.
And, Seth is like, ha, 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 and they turn around and go, psych, fuck you, and boom, boom, boom. One of them takes the belt,
Yeah.
Maybe they're just playing mind games with Seth or something like that, but I don't want them to bust it up too soon. What was your question again?
Well, I was asking if you think that Damian's going to challenge Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins for the title, or do you think he's going to go for one of the mid-card belts?
I don't know. That's a good question. Don't know. I mean, him and Roman would be really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they want to have him go up against Roman and then kind of, if he has to end up losing to Roman. And, Roman's already tied up with Jimmy and Jay and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going on with that. So if he was going to have to challenge for one, I would say Seth's belt.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of the Money in the Bank thing. You don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think for me with my money, the way I've been following the story, and again, I agree with you. I don't want to see them break up the Judgment Day. I think it's working on the Raw brand, and I think the level of heat that they bring, especially with Dominic Mysterio, that's something that you can't teach, right? And I feel like they are almost, I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but like, I feel like they're the equivalent faction to the Bloodline. They're like the mirror of the Bloodline faction on Monday Night Raw. And I think that storyline drives the general story arcs of Raw. So I would hate to see them kind of topple that. But I agree. I think they're probably going to move towards, psyching out Seth. But
am I the only one who notices that the Dom Rhea connection is a lot like Eddie Guerrero in China?
I didn't think that until you said something right now, but it very much so is.
Yeah, the badass female warrior who could probably beat up most of the guys with, Dom he even has Eddie's haircut. I mean, it's fucking great.
They could beat the shit out. I mean, well, let me ask you this, because I know there's been some talk about this as well. What do you think about the idea of Rhea Ripley potentially challenging somebody like a Solo Sikoa or getting involved in sort of this, intergender wrestling? Could you see, let me ask it a different way. Could you see Rhea Ripley stepping into that China role the way China did and maybe potentially winning the Intercontinental title? Do you think they could run that back?
Of course. I totally believe she could. I love China, and I thought China did a fantastic job with that. And Rhea is, like the next evolution of women's wrestling, in that standard where she can go either with the women or the men. And I'd love to see it, and it would be believable too.
Right.
It would totally be believable. Perception is reality in pro wrestling. It doesn't matter if a 5-foot guy can legit beat up a 7-foot guy. Perception is reality, and people want to see the underneath guy, fight the big guy.
Yeah.
And perception is reality in the fact that Rhea Ripley looks like she could probably beat any guy on that roster, legit.
Yeah.
And I think she has, the respect to that locker room that nobody would have a problem with working with her, in my opinion. I don't know. I have no inside scoop or anything like that. This is just my somewhat educated opinion. From a creative standpoint, I would totally see her. I could definitely see her, taking on some of the guys in the competitive role. Probably not Solo because he's over on SmackDown now, but just with the brand split. But yeah, she could have a match with anybody. She's that good.
I think that's what made that segment so compelling for a lot of people, including myself, like that stare down between Rhea and Solo, because I could, at least for me, I could absolutely see that match happening, not only happening, but being really fucking good. Like that would be a solid fucking wrestling match. But no, I agree. I think they could do it.
I also don't want them to bust up the Judgment Day until they make a fucking T-shirt of that Abbey Road photo they took over the weekend in London.
Yeah.
Yes. That for those who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, on social media, I believe it was Finn Balor posted a photo of the Judgment Day doing the legendary Beatles walk across Abbey Road, to the point where Finn took off his shoes like Paul McCartney had his shoes off. And I sent him a little DM. I was like, dude, that's got to be a T-shirt. And he replied, with the high five thing. But
yeah.
Well, it's either this emoji, if you're watching on Patreon, which could either be praying or a high five. So
either one works. I usually use it as praying hands, right?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like a high five, which is kind of weird because you could potentially be high fiving a tragedy. Right? depending how somebody views that,
Can you imagine Grandma died, rest in peace. Dad, why'd you send me a fucking high five?
I'm in a will. Yeah. Fuck Grandma.
Oh my God. No, I saw that. I love the commitment to the bit with Finn when he took his shoes off. That's usually the one thing I always look for when I see a group of people doing the Abbey Road photo, and I'm like, if there's 4 of you, someone has to have the shoes off. Like you can't do the shot without it.
The only thing that would have made it even more perfect if it was like the original Beatles photo and they had a VW bug in the background.
Yes.
Because in the Abbey Road photo, there's technically 5 Beatles.
Yes, that would be the nod to Billy Preston, I imagine. So
yes,
that is
which I didn't even think about. Look at the big brains on you.
That's why they pay us the big bucks, Meanie. Billy Preston, which I had no idea until like recently when I saw. Well, maybe within the past decade or so. I love talking music and researching that stuff, and I didn't know how ingrained. Like I knew Billy Preston had done work with the Beatles, but I didn't know how like deeply ingrained he was with them to the point where like Paul had pushed to have Billy be added to the band. And I think everybody was in on, or maybe I'm reversing, maybe it's Paul or if it's John, don't fact check me. But I think one of the two was like, no, I don't want to do another revenue split or something like that. Or like, we don't need to do this.
Could have been a management thing.
That's what it was. It was a management thing. They were like, we don't want to bring somebody else on board. But he's the only artist that's credited, and they used to do tours with him, and they would do it as the Beatles with Billy Preston. There was a couple of songs that they released from Let It Be. I think that was their last album after Abbey Road. That were titled with Billy Preston in it. But it's a fascinating story about his involvement.
And what was that document? What was that documentary they just put out with the Beatles on Disney Plus?
Oh yeah, what was that? I think. Let me look it up. Hold on. Disney.
It was like super long, but super awesome.
It's called Get Back. Yeah. Which I started to watch that, and it's basically them recording Let It Be, and then basically the background footage of them doing the concert on the rooftop. And
this was this was basically extension of they had a documentary back in the day.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people said, "Oh, we're watching the breakup of the Beatles," but they say that because of the way it was edited. But now with all this new footage that's come out, you kind of see how they were still kind of together.
Yeah.
There was that one moment, where Paul looks like he's about to break out into tears, and says, and then there was three.
Yeah.
And John comes back.
Yeah.
But who was it? I forget who walked out.
Oh, George. I think it was George who was like, that's it, I'm done.
That's right.
I'm out. Yeah.
That's right. And then he was like, and then there was three, and you kind of see him sit there trying to fight back tears, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
And might I add, I prefer facial hair Paul McCartney. I like.
Yes. There is something more nice about, like more appealing about facial hair Paul McCartney.
Bearded Paul McCartney was like a handsomer dude. I mean, he wasn't like ugly without the beard. Like they said, they always go, he's the cute one, love. But like Paul McCartney with a fucking beard, it's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to the pub, Paul. Bearded Paul.
Friend of the show, Sir Paul McCartney, if you're listening, Blue and I would like you to just consider, for the last run, however much longer you're going to tour, it's totally cool. Whenever you want to keep touring, but hey, man, bearded Paul is where it's at. But no, I think it's hard a lot of times. Like when I hear these stories about the Beatles and like different groups that break up, it's like you don't know the inner dynamics of these people and their lives, right? Like everybody just likes the flashy stories, and it's like, oh, Yoko did it. No, it was Paul that had the problem. But like there were so many things that were going on at the same time, and so many different, drug problems and egos and money, and like there's it's like a perfect storm, and then it just falls apart, and that happens sometimes with especially with creative people. But I think it's unfair, looking at it from a 2023 lens to say, oh, Yoko Ono was the sole reason for it, or Paul McCartney, because that's just, it's verifiably not true, right? Like everybody played a part in it.
I will say this though, have you ever seen when John and Yoko were on the Mike Douglas show?
No, I don't know if I watched that.
So the Mike Douglas show, which was broadcast out of Philly every day, they brought in John Lennon and Yoko Ono for a couple days, and they brought out Chuck Berry to play with fucking play with John, and it's John Lennon and Chuck Berry, and they're playing, and the fucking sound engineer cuts Yoko's mic because she gets on the mic and starts doing that whatever singing she does.
Singing,
like
air quotes, heavily implied.
Yeah, I'd rather hear farting it through a kazoo than fucking. Yeah, just put a harmonica between your butt cheeks, and that would be better.
I'd rather listen to Bob Barker fart on a snare drum for 6 hours than listen to another Yoko Ono song ever.
Yeah, but there's a point where she's doing the background vocals, and you see Chuck Berry look back like, what the fuck is that? They might be doing Johnny Be Good or something like that.
God.
And it's on YouTube. Yeah, go on YouTube, look up John Lennon, Chuck Berry.
I'll have to check it out.
Mike Douglas show. Mike Douglas was the Bizarro World Merv Griffin.
Yes.
Like, they kind of look the same. Like, to me, oh my God, who used to be the quarterback for the Chiefs that went to Washington and broke his leg?
Oh, I know that, but I can't think of his name.
Alex something.
I can't remember his name.
Alex. To me, he was like the Bizarro Aaron Rodgers. Like, he could have been like
Alex Smith.
Like Alex Smith. He was like the GoBots version of Aaron Rodgers.
The GoBots.
Yeah. If you're doing Transformers versus GoBots. Yeah, GoBots was like the dollar store Transformers. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers was a GoBot. Alex Smith, who was good, was a GoBot. So Mike Douglas was the GoBot to Merv Griffin's Transformers.
I understood that reference too, Meanie. I appreciate you pulling it in there.
Oh yeah.
No, I just, anything with the Beatles, I'm always going to be interested in watching, and Paul, both Paul and John are just so fascinating. And to watch.
Imagine having that many fucking heavy hitters in one fucking band.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like
having 4 starting quarterbacks on a team.
All of them were great. For not for anything, but Ringo had some pretty solid shit too. And it's like
Ringo gets so much shit, and he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Fucking, they're like, here's the second, Pete Best and all this stuff. But, I was watching something on YouTube, and it came up, where a guy, this professional musician, was praising Ringo, and he told his friend, all right, you think Ringo sucks? And he's talking to his buddy who's a drummer. It's like, play this. I forget what song it was, but like the pacing and the tempo of the song, and the guy tried to play that Ringo beat, and the guy got fucking blown up and had to fucking tap out because it's like, Ringo was a good drummer.
Yeah.
People always, but I guess, when you're stuck behind George, Ringo, and Paul, you kind of have to look for the cousin Oliver in the group,
Right. Yeah, there's always going to be the ancillary player in a quartet like that. But I mean, I go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. To put in again, I'm going very local here with the Phillies sports reference. But back in 2011, we had the 4 horsemen, the 4 aces.
Yeah,
we had Roy Halladay, Roy Oswalt, Cole Hamels, and I'm blanking on somebody, the 4th one. But then they had Joe Blanton on there.
Yeah.
And then somebody said, they had the starting pitchers press conference, and they said to Joe Blanton, what's it like to, be the 5th wheel? And Cole Hamels started laughing. Not without that. I don't know, it was Roy Halladay, Roy Oswalt,
Cliff Lee,
Cliff Lee, and Joe Blanton was, the 5th guy,
the Billy Preston, if you will, yeah,
the Ringo or whatever. And they said something to him about being the 5th starter, and Cole Hamels started laughing. I was like, "You do realize Joe Blanton has a World Series ring, right?" It's like, when you have, those people ahead of you, even one of the best guys in the band is going to have to take a back seat somehow, And
it's not a bad thing. Like, it's not,
No.
it's, I don't know.
Ringo's still touring.
Yeah, him and Paul are still touring. And that's the thing. Like, even I watched something with Dave Grohl. Maybe it was Dave Grohl or another drummer. And they were talking about their influences. And I believe, if I recall correctly, the first person that Dave Grohl said was Ringo Starr. Most of your favorite drummers are fans of Ringo Starr because he I don't know. I would be a stretch to say that maybe he like invented the style, but like he revolutionized the style of what you would listen to as a current drummer. Most people who play drums right now are all kind of doing an impression of what Ringo Starr did back in the 60s. Absolutely. He was the next step in the evolution of drumming in general. And I can't get down with Ringo slander, man. I can't. It's not okay.
And it's funny you bring up the Foo Fighters because Paul McCartney played drums on a Foo Fighter song on like one of the last couple albums. They asked Paul to play drums on it, which is insane when you think about it.
I'm sorry.
Paul McCartney.
Let me run that.
McCartney's
run that by one more time. Paul McCartney played drums on a Foo Fighters record.
You jump on the Google machine.
I'm jumping on it right now, pal.
You're faster with the fucking research than I am because I'm a one fucking finger typer kind of guy. But yeah, like I don't know if it's this last album or the one before that, but Paul McCartney played drums on one of the Foo Fighters songs.
Holy shit! What? Paul McCartney on Concrete and Gold. He played on Sunday Rain, and Taylor Hawkins sang the lead vocals on it.
Yep. So, yeah, that's kind of cool, isn't it?
That's amazing. Holy shit, man. I can't wait to go back and listen to that.
That's the useless knowledge you get here on the Mind of the Meanie.
That's what you pay us for, friends. That's why you listen each and every week.
All my knowledge is just bar trivia. Sitting at the bar. Oh, did you know Paul McCartney played drums for the Foo Fighters? And somebody goes, nuh-uh. Well, if I'm right, you have to buy me a beer.
$20
Holy
is
shit.
I got it.
Yeah. How you like them apples?
I got a number. How do you like them apples? And honestly, that's what makes our show so much fun, Meanie, is because we talk about Matt Damon. We talk about more than just wrestling. You're going to get your Beatles knowledge here. You're going to get your Van Halen knowledge here. You're going to get rap knowledge here. That's what we do here, pal. So thank you for listening. Thank you for taking that stroll with me. Meanie.
Yes, sir.
Cannonballs.
Cannonballs.
This summer, it's not about the size of those cannonballs. It's about making a splash with our friends at Manscaped. Prep for barbecue season by making sure your grill master has the hottest dogs the summer's ever seen. When you're at the cookout, let the meat speak for itself with Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0. It's time to get ready and not sweaty, Meanie, by going to manscaped.com right now and using promo code MINDMeanie for 20% off, plus free shipping. And Meanie, I got to tell you, you use some of them generic store brand razors to trim Little John and the East Side Boys. And you're gonna get some nicks, you're gonna get some cuts, and you're gonna get some scrapes. I gotta tell you, man, using the Manscaped products, the Performance Package 4.0 has helped my confidence, not only looking at myself in the mirror, but also with Mrs. Goober, if you know what I'm talking about. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to guarantee you'll have the most mouthwatering treats at the party. They have even built the ultimate bundle for your summer grooming. Their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower has a 7,000 RPM motor, meaning, I don't know if you know all this, but it also has a new multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock so you don't get any uncomfortable buzzing in your luggage. And it gives you the ability to turn off the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave if you're like me in the shower at 4:30. Did I mention, Meanie, that this trimmer is waterproof too? Beach, pool, or shower, this razor will devour even the strongest pubes.
Let me tell you something, sir. It is summertime, and I like to go in the pool. And speaking of cannonballs, I like to moisturize my cannonballs with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. After I put on a comfortable pair of the Manscaped boxers, these are the most comfortable boxer shorts I have ever worn in my life, and I love them.
I'm wearing them right now. No shit. I legitimately am wearing them, and they are so comfortable. They're soft. They're breathable. They give me extra room for Little John of the East Side Boys. And you'll get a set of Manscaped boxers and the Shed travel bag inside of the Performance Package 4.0 as a free gift. Now, wearing sandals with some nasty toenails is nasty during the summer months. Looks like you're going to jump into the water and catch trout. The good news is that they added in something new, the Shears 2.0, a luxury nail grooming set, which includes stainless steel nail cutters, tweezers, and grooming scissors. And as a treat, you should add in the crop mops to your order, a moist towelette specifically for your beach balls, Meanie. It's the best midday refresher to stop your popsicle from melting. So go ahead right now, Meanie. Where can they go right now?
Go to manscaped.com and save 20% when you use our coupon code MINDMeanie.
That's 20% off plus free shipping by using promo code MINDMeanie at manscaped.com. Manscaped, the perfect way to get your patty sizzling hot this summer. And we want to thank them, as always, for sponsoring the program. I also wanted to talk about Threads a little bit, because I know we've had a couple of people ask us. We are jumping onto Threads at some point. Threads is, for the uninitiated, is the new Facebook, Instagram, Twitter alternative. Trying to figure out the logistics of it right now. But Meanie, I got to tell you, man, I have been enjoying that app thoroughly. How have you enjoyed it?
I like it a lot. And let me put this out there. Folks, it's day 2 or day 3 of this new app. Chill the fuck out with the fucking thread slander till it's like, okay, it's kind of like Twitter, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles yet. But Pat McAfee had a great analogy right now. It came out. He said on the show the other day, because he was kind of singing Threads' praises. Is like Threads right now is the rookie quarterback. Twitter's kind of like the veteran, Aaron Rodgers thing. Threads, in my opinion, will get better. I mean, they started developing it maybe 5 months ago, 6 months ago. They launched it as we're recording on Friday, July 7th, 2023 at 8:06. When did it come out? Wednesday?
Wednesday, I think, was the initial launch. That was when I got the alert on my Instagram that it was available.
Oh, I can't delete it because the only way to delete is to delete my Instagram. How about this? Just take it off your phone. Turn off you can pause all notifications and just take it off your phone.
Yeah.
Crisis averted.
Yeah. It doesn't, it's like it's just going to be there. You don't have to use it. It'll sit dormant like my Twitter did for about 10 years before I started jumping on it again.
It's going to sit there like my MySpace is sitting there.
Oh, man. I wish I still had my MySpace, but I'm sure it would have been super cringy.
Oh, you can still log into it. I mean, it's still there.
No, I fully deleted mine in like 2009, 2010, and I'm kind of pissed because there was photos I wish I would have had, but it's gone now.
That's the only reason why mine's still around is because I go, oh, shit, I forgot to, let me check my fucking MySpace.
Wish I would have saved it, man. But no, you're right. I mean, it's like, it's still in development, and I got to tell you, it just feels like, and I like kind of analogized it to when I first joined Facebook back in 2007. It was like, oh my God, like who's on here? Like, what am I going to do? Let me explore these new features. Let's see how this works. But already,
remember when Facebook was invite only?
Yes, you need to have a college email or invite only to get in there, and like it was like this cool little clique that you were a part of, and like you could share statuses, and like people would poke you, and you would do bumper stickers and shit. Like it was a totally different world than it is now, and it just, I don't know, something feels fun about Threads right now, and I'm thoroughly enjoying being on the app. And I think I've maybe opened Twitter twice since I've signed on. Now, obviously, we still have our programs and our things, our advertising that we do on Twitter.
Yeah.
But, excuse me, and eventually we're going to get to that point. Hopefully, if Threads takes off, we'll just transition over there to that platform. But, yeah, dude, fuck yeah. I'm loving it.
And Threads has totally given Blue Sky the Farrah Fawcett fucking treatment.
Yeah.
Like Blue Sky came out and everybody's like, oh, Blue Sky, that I don't even know what the fuck it is, but I saw, there's a new thing called Blue Sky. You needed a fucking invite. Fuck you. All right. And then also, the day Farrah Fawcett died, everybody's like, oh, Farrah Fawcett died. Holy shit, Michael Jackson's dying. And then unfortunately, Farrah Fawcett got the back seat to Michael passing. Unfortunately,
yeah.
Now Blue Sky comes out. Like, oh, Blue Sky. Oh, did you get an invite? Have you got an invite? And Instagram goes, boom. Here's Threads.
Yep. And that's the way. Go ahead.
30-minute sign up. 30 million sign-ups in like one day.
It's unbelievable, but I think that's really the issue that I've had. Like, because Mastodon is like an interesting setup, right? Like, you need to. It's not super friendly, like user friendly, and like I tried to search for you on there, and then I found you, but like then I couldn't invite you because we weren't on the same server, and it was like, and it wasn't explained real well, right? And then Blue Sky, a bunch of people that I know, from the wrestling Twitter sphere, everybody was sort of like pinging and popping on the Blue Sky. And I'm like, I'd reach out to people like, hey, you got an invite code? Like, I want to try this. And apparently Blue Sky is like Twitter with a ton of bugs, right? Like a ton of shit that's like not worked out in the software. And like, there's a lot of coding issues. It was created by Jack Dorsey, who is the guy who created Twitter, as sort of as the alternative, quote unquote.
That's a great name, by the way, Jack Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey. It sounds like a fucking famous boxer, doesn't it? Like fighting Jack Dorsey's going to fight Russell Crowe in the octagon, mate. I don't know why I went British there, but it felt right.
The Marcus of Queensberry rules.
We're fighting around the world. So I tried to get on there, and I just still haven't. So I finally just kind of gave up. But I think that's where Zuckerberg got this right. It was like, fuck making people wait for this. Here you go. Sign up, and you can sign up with your Instagram.
I am.
Get on there and enjoy it. See how it works. And to be fair, like I know there are valid criticisms of the meta things, which we're not going to get into here. But like what I like so much about and what I've been following with Threads is the fact that they're like, hey, we see your feedback. Here's some cool things that are going to be coming down the pipeline. And hey, we're aware that this shit's all fucked up on this side. And it's like, okay, well now we're like developing this. And it just, I don't know. There's a community aspect with it as well, which I think maybe that's part of it too. I've noticed that people are not nearly as shitty or aggressive on Threads, at least as of right now, because you're connected to your personal Instagram page, right? Like it's not an anonymous like shit posting that Twitter is. Like you can't hide behind an avatar. You are this person on your Instagram page. So I think that's causing people to not be as shitty, at least as of right now. I'm sure it's going to get there, but
I've seen a few complaints about. I'm like, dude, it's day 3.
Yeah,
you're spoiled. Stop.
Facebook didn't work all that great at first. It was glitchy and weird, and so did Instagram. Like it was all odd for a while. Look, I even got a new Threads alert right now. It's cool. Like it's a cool little app. It feels nice to be on it. It's the same handle for me on Threads as everywhere else. This is Goober, Blue Meanie BWO on Threads. Give us a follow. Let us know you're there. We love chatting with you and sharing all our stuff. The only question I have, Meanie, is do I go back and reshare like my Jey Uso thread on Threads or any of my classic greatest hits? I mean, I might as well, right?
You might as well. Why not?
Fuck it.
It's a new platform. Give some fresh content.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing. Now you got me looking for.
I usually get follow requests here because that's another thing. It's like I followed a bunch of people, but I didn't. And like, listen, no hard feelings if you don't follow back. But like, I'm not going to follow. I'm going to unfollow you, and them's the rules. So,
if you're on Threads, my buddy Jeremiah, also follow at Too Fast for Blood on Instagram. He's got like tons of old school ECW photos because he was ringside. But he put out a really good thread, and let me read it. He goes, I see friends dismissing Threads due to lack of following feeds, chrono, features, etc. I would suggest following at MOSSEN Mawson for updates on here and IG, Instagram. He does a great job being visible and present with the community and is already answering all your questions / concerns. So if you're on Threads, Instagram, follow at. Let me make sure oh shit, I fucked that up. My eyes are so fucking. Let me just click on this thing. Click on. Okay, I fucked up. delete, backspace.
I am ready, sir.
At Mosseri.
Here he is, Adam Mosseri.
Yeah, that I was too close to the fucking R, and I thought it was an N. Adam Mosseri. He is the Grand Poobah over on Threads right now. So I guess he's answering a bunch of things, and he's posting like some tutorials and stuff like that. I just want to learn how to share stuff from my Instagram to Threads and my Threads to Instagram.
That's what I'm trying to figure out too, because I've been going back to, like I said, it's almost like I'm not necessarily mining content from my other social pages, but like this is a new social. I want to share some of this stuff, so I'm sharing some of my photos and my actual professional film photos and some of my links, and different things. And going back and being able to do that, there's nothing wrong with it. But like, again, it's also like, I wish I was able to translate that between the apps, which I'm sure eventually will happen. But, I have found myself also using Facebook way less than ever. Like I'm rarely, if ever, on it anymore. It's typically just
Facebook is hard to navigate anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'll see a friend's post from 3 days ago, like it came up today. Like it was a today post. Like so many birthdays, thank you for the birthday wishes. Oh, this was 3 days ago when it was his birthday. Holy shit.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Carl, can you amplify that one for us? Can you just notch that fucker up when you're editing, please? That would be great.
Please isolate that for me.
My God, that was disgusting.
Yo, asshole, I don't fucking sound like that.
Facebook is very.
You know what he sounds like in that. Play that clip again.
Yo, asshole, I don't fucking sound like that.
That sounds like it's something that would be in a Beck song. Like I forget.
Two turntables and a microphone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, asshole, I don't sound like that. Get crazy with the Cool Whip or whatever. Where it's at.
Yo, asshole.
It's a compliment. Like it's a compliment. Please don't get mad. And leave me a voicemail.
He always laughs, man. He's always everybody's got an impression of me, but nobody fucking sounds like me. I'm like, I don't know, man. That sounds pretty close to what you talk like.
I do.
Baby Carl, I don't know. But no, I have noticed that it's just become very, I don't know. It's not fun anymore. And it used to be fun. Like I used to share a bunch of shit, but it's like, it feels like Instagram is much more tailored to what, like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like more like my personality, right? It just seems way easier. Oh, I thought that was going to be a better one. No, thank you. I just, it's just there. It exists because I need it to run all these other apps. And it's like, well, all right, well, maybe it'll be there. But in the group chat here, Machete says Hive Social was cool, but it was so slow and so many security issues. I'm not even aware of what Hive Social was.
I heard of it, but it sounded like something it sounded like an allergy reaction.
Yeah, it sounds like something I need medicine for.
I shouldn't have cleaned out the closet. Now I got hives.
Hive Social is a microblogging and service mobile app. The app received news during the acquisition of Twitter by Elmo Muskie in November 2020.
And now there's Substack or whatever the fuck that is.
Well, there's Substack, which I think is a lot of folks that use for like writing purposes, journalists and stuff. But then there's Spoutable, I've heard of. There's Mastodon. I've heard of Spill, which is a new one.
Yeah, Mastodon was too much homework, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. Like I said, it's there for me to have, so I can like retain my, one of my buddies and friend of the show, Ernest Owens. He was saying like he's basically on all of these apps just to retain his IP and his handle on everything, which is smart. If you don't use it, it's just still there. But
like me with TikTok.
Yeah, which I started using.
It's like I should do it, but I don't know.
It's the weirdest.
I don't want the pressure of having to be on all the time.
It's so odd. Like it's so weird. Like I post like weird random shit here, right? And I posted this video of myself as like a goth transition, right? And you can see this on Patreon.com. /Mind of the Meanie, and I turned into Dave Navarro from Hell. And it's got like 800 some odd views on this. I'm like, this is the fucking, like, why are people watching this? Like, this is not interesting. There's nothing interesting about this, but people are watching it. And it's ridiculous. So,
that or Adam Lambert.
Yeah, you know what? Adam Lambert, I could see that too. That's probably better.
He goes heavier on the ice shadow than Dave Navarro. You know?
Yeah, you know what? Now that you say it, that is a better analogy there.
It's not bad. It's not better. It's just another take.
I mean, listen, Dave Navarro is awesome, and Adam Lambert is great too.
Yeah.
So either one, we'll let you decide, fans. If you're watching this and you're watching this on Patreon, you let us know who you think I look more like, and I'm be happy with either answer. But Meanie, I'll be happy when you answer this question, sir, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
I have a question for you.
What's that?
Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask me anything. Ask me something.
It's the shits.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
Don't forget to tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and you may hear them on the program this week. We're going to pull up some questions right now for you here.
Hold on, I got breaking news. Little Jimmy Sorensen has joined the chat.
Little Jimmy Sorensen,
Jimmy.
worldwide. I saw him all
I'm
over.
I'm on a boat.
You won't
Boats and hoes.
You won't sink because my dick will float. Boats and hoes. I saw little Jimmy all over social media actually a couple days ago.
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks ago during Top Guy Weekend. He's one of the guys that got to shave Uncle Eric's hair for the Top Guy Weekend event, which was super cool to see you be a part of that, Jimmy. So that was very exciting to rep the squad there. But we have
to answer his first Ask Meanie question. Yes, we have missed you.
Let me do this officially here. Little Jimmy Sorensen worldwide wants to know, Meanie,
Yes.
have you missed me?
Sorely.
We
Very
are so happy to see you, Jimmy, all the time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. We'll hope you're back every week, sir. I appreciate you also finding me on Snapchat as well, which I just rejoined today for the purposes of IP. So I sent Jimmy deuces in the group chat. Nate Smythe, Pod Squad member, wants to know, hey, Meanie,
Yes.
would you rather fight one Danny DeVito-sized duck or 10 duck-sized Danny DeVitos?
Oh, man. It's a very thoughtful question. I would probably... Ducks are fucking nasty.
Yeah.
People go, oh, rubber ducky. They're fucking mean. So I would probably have to say 10 duck-sized Danny DeVitos because at least you get fucking some funny insults out of it or some funny content. Imagine the fucking verbiage coming out of 10 little fucking duck-sized Danny DeVitos.
May I offer you an egg in this time of crisis?
Egg. I like when it's just a thing of him just going, egg.
So anyway, I start blasting. That would be amazing. 10 duck-sized DeVitos would be... Now, is DeVito's plural? Would that be DeVitos or DeViti? How would that work?
10 duck-sized Danny DeVitos crawling out of couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty...
It's a good question. I have no scientific answer for that.
I would be a little concerned, but I also, like, if I saw 10 duck-sized Danny DeVito crawling out of the sofa, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? This is amazing, but I'm also very concerned right now at the same time.
Yes.
Mark and Dryden wants to know who, in your guys' opinions, are the WWE and AEW wrestlers of the half year. P.S. Can I get a birthday shout out? When this episode airs, I turn 25. 52 on Saturday the 8th. Thank you. Mark and Dryden, absolutely, sir.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Happy birthday, sir. Thank you for listening. And thank you every week. Like, we can always count on Mark and Dryden for questions on the show and helping us keep this segment going. We appreciate you. So I will present you with a birthday yo cuz.
Yo, cuz.
A birthday fart and a birthday pierce.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
Happy birthday, pal. So you go first. Who are your WWE and AEW wrestlers of the half year?
I guess I would have to say Damian Priest if I'm going to be totally biased. AEW. I mean, Dom Mysterio's. I mean, for WWE, Dom Mysterio is pretty good too. To me, he's like a better heel. Yeah, one of the better heels in wrestling. So, as far as AEW, it's going to have to be. Man. Oh my God. They Acclaimed as a team, as the tag. It's going to have to be. So I don't want to say one without the other. So I'm going to have to say the team, the Acclaimed.
I would agree with that. I would say that my AEW
Acclaimed is probably the one of the most over homegrown gimmicks they got there.
Yeah, I think
when the Phillies were in the playoffs last year, two of the Alec Bowman, Brandon Marsh were scissoring doing the scissor gimmick as a home run celebration. I was like, you don't get that much more over when mainstream sports are doing your gimmick.
I mean, yeah, you're fucking scissoring on national television during the World Series. Like, that's over as shit, man. That's more over than coming out of a box. So I would say, I would say the Acclaimed as well would be my AEW pick. My heart says main event Jey Uso for my mid-year wrestler for WWE, but I'd have to go, at least right now, I'd have to go with Damian Priest. I feel like he's the guy.
I mean, his match with Bad Bunny, him doing the good business, and being the trusted one to have an excellent match with, Bad Bunny, and the whole match was fucking fantastic. But even Money in the Bank, everything he does, I don't think Jey Uso's done yet. I mean, Jay's been doing great too, but Damian, I don't know. When you rise and you're on your own, like in the instance of the Bad Bunny match, to me, he's the MVP for the mid-year.
Yeah. No, I agree. Jimmy Sorensen Worldwide has another question for us here. He said, Meanie, if given the opportunity, whose head would you rather shave? I want to list them off for you here, and you can pick one. Eric Bischoff, Gerald Briscoe, JBL, Bruce Pritchard, Billionaire Conrad, or Paul Heyman.
Well, fucking Briscoe would stretch me, first off.
I'm not going anywhere fucking near him with a set of razors or scissors. Are you kidding me?
I'm sure if it was for charity, Billionaire Connie would allow me to shave his head, and there'd be the least resistance because, it's good business. So yeah. I would have to say Billionaire Connie with much respect.
Yes, I believe so as well. Hopefully it would be done at the Conradison. We would just need directions on which elevator to go to in his home.
It's just I could do Bischoff. But his hair's got to grow back first.
Yeah,
he's already bald.
Here's a great question for you though. Where's Ben Rivera? Where's Ben Rivera wants to know. I've always wondered this. If you're in the Rumble and you know that you aren't winning it, do you know ahead of time if you're going to stay in it for 8 minutes or 20 minutes? What's the timeline that you know of? Like, I guess the question was, the other way to say it is, do you know before you leave the curtain that you're going to be eliminated within a certain amount of time, or is it called in the ring?
No, when I did the Rumble, it was, what number you are, and you're getting eliminated when a certain person comes out. Meanie, you get eliminated, Meanie, you're 27. No. Make it more realistic. Meanie, you're 14th. You'll get eliminated with when number 21 comes out, whoever number 21 would be. So I would have to hear that guy's music and then find somebody and find a way to get eliminated.
I see. So is it more like I guess the question would be, I have to go back and see who actually eliminated you, but like suppose, just for the sake of the examples, you're in the ring.
Well, Mabel eliminated me.
I see.
Viscera eliminated me, yeah.
But do you know in advance? Like, I guess, well, you would know in advance.
Oh, yeah.
It's just called, or you're like, no, Mabel's going to be the guy that eliminates you.
That could be. Sometimes they'll say, so-and-so will eliminate you, or they'll just say, you're eliminated when so-and-so comes out, and you just see who's still in there, figure out a spot. You know, when I got eliminated, and I knew it was Viscera that was eliminating me, we worked out a spot, and the cameras kind of missed it, where I started, pounding on him from behind, and he turned around, no selling, and I threw his hands on my back and forced him to throw me out. I put one hand on my shoulder, one hand on my back, and I pointed outwards, and he threw me out. Like I had just given up to the fact that he was going to eliminate me anyway. So here, I'm giving you myself, sir.
That's awesome. Again, it's still probably one of the dopest things of all time in professional wrestling to just say that you were in a Royal Rumble match, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was so much fun. I'm pretty confident, I was the first person in the Rumble to get caught on camera tickling my opponent for shoot.
I forgot.
Draws and Eds were trying to get me out, and I just reached up and I started like tickling them, and they kind of just backed off.
It's immortalized in video. I saw the photos you posted the other day with you tickling Draws.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's right there. It's right there on the peacock.
And then tell me, like, are they saying something to you, or are they like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Are they just like, they're just going with it?
Laughing. They're just laughing. I might have plucked out some of Edge's armpit hair, too. I'm not sure.
It's amazing, man. I love it.
There's little ribs you could do when, like, somebody's got you in a headlock, or somebody's got you in the head. You're on the mat selling the head scissors. You just reach up and pluck out a leg hair. And they're just like, oh, fuck, stop.
Jesus, and you got to no-sell it, That shit's probably painful as hell, right?
Reach up, untie their boot.
Oh, that's great.
Just little things.
Well, what's not a little thing is answering these questions for our listeners and our fans and our pod squad. I want to say thank you, Meanie, as always, for answering these questions. Don't forget, y'all, make sure you tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie. And you can also send them to us on Threads, as we start to incorporate that into our social media platform. You can just respond right underneath there, and we will answer them for you. Meanie, it is always a pleasure to do the show with you each and every week. But I do want to know, dare I say, may I ask you, sir, where can everyone keep up to date on all things blue, and also where can they follow you on social?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, sort of TikTok, and now Threads, at Blue Meanie BWO on all forms of social media. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. If you would like to support Mind of the Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand, go to Collar and Elbow. Let me start that over.
You got it.
CollarandElbowBrand.com. Go to CollarandElbowBrand.com. Use coupon code Meanie. You can also use coupon code MINE. Go to CollarandElbowBrand.com and save 10%. Shout out to the good old brothers over there at CollarandElbowBrand.com. MadCatBeerCare.com. Shout out to Josh Thornton. He's doing an amazing job over there at MadCatBeerCare.com with the Blue Meanie beard oil and balm. Every cent you spent there at MadCatBeerCare.com goes to take care of the feral cats in the neighborhood. He rounds them up, takes them to the vet, and sends them off feeling better than he found them. So go to MadCatBeerCare.com. Figure collection Bone Crushing Wrestler Series 1 variants of the Blue Meanie are available now. All Series 1s can be ordered now at shop.figurecollections.com. That's shop.figurecollections.com. I debuted them this past weekend, 2 weekends ago, if you're listening to this, at Icons, and the BWO one was the most popular one. So once those ones are gone, they're gone. Go to shop.figurecollections.com. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, that's you. If you have a podcast, go to podstars.net. That's PODSTARZ.net. Register your podcast there and select from myself or many of the talents from different forms of entertainment over there at podstars.net. Shout out to my boy Jim Nilsson over at glaciersofice.com. Jim made a 3 of 3 only custom BWO Air Jordan 1 sneaker for Stevie, Nova, and myself. Each pair takes Jim about 50 hours per pair. If you want to see him make these beautiful looking sneakers, go over to all forms of social media, just like me, at GOI Kicks. That's first day with the new mouth, at GOI Kicks on all forms of social media. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holiday, and well wishes. Let's go over there and to Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO and make somebody's day a little bit better over there at Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. But most importantly, Mr. Barnard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on all forms of social media, Instagram, Twitter, at least for right now, definitely on TikTok more, and Threads. You can find me there at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. So find me there and follow me and say hello. Also on Snapchat as well. You can find me there. FoundationRadio.net is my other show. You can listen to that right now. A lot of great content coming. I'm also revisiting a bunch of my old episodes. A bunch of great interviews with musician Cass Haley, CBS News reporter Robert Costa, and a bunch of great back behind-the-scenes stuff with those episodes. So go to FoundationRadio.net and check it out. Brothers Gaddor has created the very first official piece of Adam Barnard merchandise ever. It's the first one ever. It's the official Adam Barnard Wrestle Buddy and Meanie. I am so hyped to tell you that I have officially sold out of the stock that I had here at my house. Yay! And they are completely gone. The only place you can get them right now is at brothersgaddor.com for a limited time because there's only 25 made, and when they're gone for good. So go there right now. Pick yourself up one before it's too late. Pick yourself up a Blue Meanie as well while you're on the site. And if you're feeling squirrely and more robust, if you will, you could pick up a 2-pack Meanie, 2-pack deal, a 2-pack of both myself and Blue here to complete your Mind of the Meanie 2-pack set. BrothersGaddor.com. Go to the FeinbergMethod.com right now. Use promo code Goober and save up to 20% off of your purchase, not just physical well-being, but also mental health as well. Brad Feinberg is a wonderful trainer. He is the trainer of the lead singer of Imagine Dragons, Dan Reynolds, as well. So he will assist you in meeting your goals. The FeinbergMethod.com. I want to give a shout out to my friends at the 10th Ward Barbershop down there in Lawrenceville. On the outskirts of Pittsburgh. Go and see Kane and tell him Goober sent you. Go to 10th Ward barbershop.com and schedule an appointment to get faded up and get your beard cut nicely. Corey Graves' new mustache, by the way, on television, friends. That's all thanks to our friends at the 10th Ward Barbershop there. ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Pick up a shirt. Keep the lights on at Casa DeMeanie. The Barnard home for wayward and troubled youth. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Sign up today. Tiers starting at just $10. And you can see our beautiful faces each and every week as we record here and making all of our gestures. And you can even see what kind of seltzer we're drinking. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. We want to thank the sponsors today who have sponsored the program. And we want to thank the Premier Podcast Network for hosting us. Meanie, thank you as always, sir. Pod Squad, we love you all. For the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip to the mind
Blue World Order.
of the Meanie. Peace.
Blue World Order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is produced by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Mind of the Meanie and become our patron on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue
Dad, why is Blue Meanie's brain out?